I'm Andy.
I'm Melissa.
And I'm Jack.
And together we're working on restoring our sailing yacht.
Some of you might think we're crazy taking on the challenge of restoring this boat and creating a life less ordinary.
And we're sure there will be blood, sweat and tears, but it'll all be worth it when we embark on our epic adventure around the world. Well, today's an exciting day. Today the boat's going to be lifted.
Hello! So today is the day Melody's getting lifted. She's getting lifted for a couple of days before they need to use the crane again, just so we can get under and have a look at the keel foot and the drop keel and all of that fun stuff. So Jack's excited to watch Melody get lifted. So what they've got to do is make sure the keel box is exposed. So currently the strap is sitting where the keel box is, and so it needs to be up another 3 feet for the keel to drop down. Right, scary stuff. The keel is down. The boat is really far up. It feels like it.
Oh, that's scary.
Only as far as it would be if it had a normal keel. Maybe a little bit. But here is the keel.
Finally! Very rusty. Got a lot of surface rust.
Right, so my plan is to clean the keel before I start tackling the rust. I'm going to jet wash it. Hopefully the jet washer works because it's a bit temperamental. And then I've got 4 bolts that I need to get off. We think that the 4 bolts cover like a plate, and then behind that plate there's a hook that hooks onto the pivot pin. So that's my mission for today. It's not going anywhere. I'm not lifting it off the pin or anything like that. I just need to start tackling the rust under the keel and be ready for when Andy comes later on today or tomorrow to see if we can get the keel off. So I've jet washed the keel, the drop keel and the underside of the keel, but all I achieved really was just making a mess where I've got to sit. These are the bolts here that I need to try and get off so we can see what's behind there. We think there's like a shoe, and then behind that shoe is a hook that hooks over the pivot pin. I'm sitting under the boat feeling a bit sorry for myself. Today has been a bad day. Every other job that we've done on this boat, I've seen how we can do it and how we can fix it, and I've not been overly daunted by it. But the underside of the keel looks worse than I thought it was. I may be just in a negative mood and Andy's not here, but I'm worried that this might be beyond us. Not necessarily beyond our capabilities, but beyond the time frame that we want to spend on this project, because obviously we want to get out there and be sailing and exploring before Jack's too old to not want to do it with us, and beyond our financial capacity. This potentially could be a really big job. I'm hoping that when Andy gets here and looks underneath, he's just going to tell me that I'm being dramatic, but I've shed a few tears today. I've felt very overwhelmed by the underside of the keel, and maybe it's just because I'm tired and I had a puncture this morning and everything seems to be going wrong today. I just thought I would film this because it's all well and good, you know, when you're vlogging stuff to try and avoid the negatives, but feeling negative, and I just wanted to explain why. I haven't filmed any of what I've been doing today apart from trying to get the bolts off the keel, which sheared off, but Andy said it's not a big issue, but I felt bad that I broke them. But at the moment I'm just hammering away at the rust. The air compressor, I can't seem to get it to work properly. So I'm currently using an SDS drill with this wide bit on, which is really hard to do upwards to get the scale off. But there's a lot of scale under the keel. Now apparently the foot of the keel is 6 mil. That's what it says in the plans.
Yes, plans. And earlier you managed to get these massive slabs of rust off. Massive.
Jack is doing his favourite pastime.
Am I?
Yeah, you love bashing stuff, don't you? You always want to get the hammer. I'm gonna eat you up. I'm gonna eat you. Nom 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 nom. Let me
So I'm here to help today at last, and I've got a few days off, so we should be able to get some stuff done. As you can see, the boat's up in the air, which you've already seen. One end of the keel is dropped down on the winch, but we've got to get the other end off, which looks like it'll be a mammoth and quite potentially dangerous thing to do. Melissa has been undoing some bolts on the cap yesterday. 2 of them have sheared off, unfortunately, which isn't a big deal because we can drill them out and retap them, and I'd rather they break now than in a more dangerous situation. So we're going to try and use some heat to get the other 2 off. So this plate here has to come off. You can see the hinge pin, and then the hinge, the keel itself kind of hooks over the hinge pin, so we need to remove these bolts, lift this end of the keel up, back and down, and I've got a cunning plan for that.
It's a cunning plan, actually. Of course it is.
Let's try that. No, that one's sheared off as well. No biggie. We'll be re-drilling these then.
Are you tightening them?
You are?
Are you tightening them?
No. No, 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 no.
Just wonder why you're pulling it towards you.
Because that's undoing them.
Oh. I thought left was loose.
No, I was undoing them. So all 4 have sheared off. Not a big deal. We'll drill them out and re-tap them. So now what we need is some way of getting that plate off.
broken. Don't hit it with the hammer.
Right, so now we've got the keel in the downward position, or mostly down. You can see a lot better. That block that you can see at the bottom there is the piece that we need to remove so that we can lift the keel up, back and unhook it from the pivot pin. That what we thought was this pivot pin here that Melissa was doing with the guys from Ship Happens a couple of weeks ago or last week isn't the pivot pin at all. The pivot pin is welded in and it's right down the bottom of the keel box. So we can actually see daylight all the way past that, what we thought was a pin, so goodness only knows what they were for. On the sides of the keel box here there's some tough knoll pads that have been put in and screwed into place. That's for that's to keep the keel centralised so it doesn't chatter from one side to the other. So it is a matter now, unfortunately, of drilling out those 4 bolts from down below. That's going to be a long and tedious job, but it's got to be done. We're getting there. Drilling the bolts out is just a complete pain in the bum, but we're gradually getting this block which holds the keel in place.
Seems to be moving.
Seems to be moving, so come on. There you go.
Look at that.
That is the bottom cup for the pivot pin. We've got some Tufnell shims, and now let me just take that. There's the pivot pin, 4 bolts that hold it on. Now we've got to lift the whole keel up in the air, move it backwards by 6 inches and lower it down in a safe and controlled, not dangerous at all manner. So how the heck are we going to lift the keel up, back and down to get the keel out from inside the keel box? Well, here's my plan. We're going to put one end, that end of the keel, on this dolly that's got wheels on. So I've got a little dolly here with wheels, and that will support one end of the keel under there. The other end of the keel we're going to lift up. I've got a block and tackle in that bag, but we're going to lift up with a block and tackle from inside the boat. It's only got to come up 2 or 3 inches. Then we can slide it back gently with one end on the dolly, and then lower it down nice and carefully on the block and tackle until it falls over sideways, and just don't trap your fingers. But we can even lower it down sideways, and then we've got it kind of semi on the dolly to slide it out from under the car. That's the plan. Sounds simple. I guarantee it won't be that easy. Let's have a go.
It's probably going to be lots of swearing.
Yes.
So we're going to send Jack off to go and wash our dinghy.
Yes, there's our Walker Bay. Come and have a look at our tender.
So he's out the way and not listening to our foul language and 5-minute breakup.
Yeah. So we've got this Walker Bay 10. We've got the sail pack for it. We don't have the tubes. If anybody's got a set of tubes for a Walker Bay 10 that they want to get rid of, or want to sell or don't use, let us know, because we've got these fenders around the edge, but they're not brilliant.
Or any great ideas.
Yeah.
Because the tubes are about £1,000 and we don't want to spend that at the moment.
No. But we've got the sail pack and the keel, the centreboard and the rudder for it, and I've got a couple of outboard motors and an electric outboard, so we've got plenty of options. And these are kind of indestructible dinghies, and with the tubes on, they're brilliant. But anyway, back to the keel work. Here is the plan. I've got some lifting straps. We've got these Dorade vents. I can put one, and there's masses of reinforcement here. That's the mast's foot, so huge amount of strength here. We can put one of these up here, feed it through and back down this one. So we'll have the strap here. The block and tackle will hang off that, and then we'll have another one that goes down, round the keel and back up, so that we can lift and lower the keel safely. And that goes up there. So there's the block and tackle hanging in exactly the right position. I can now put that on there, this round the keel and back up and onto here. We've got a longer one if we need to. So yeah, we might need the longer one actually.
I think so.
A little bit more. There we are. Lovely. Is that the whole thing? Oh, sorry. Is that all of it?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
It needs to go further forward, sorry.
Well, I don't think it can. Let's just see if that's taking any of the strain of it at all. Hey? Ready?
Yeah. Keep going.
Okay, I'll go till the cable's slack, otherwise we won't be able to slide backwards.
So we're putting this here so the dolly will slide without sinking into the sand. Right, okay.
The cable is completely slack now, so all of that weight is now on the dolly.
Right. Yeah, it's on the dolly.
Okay. Now I'm going to lift up this end of the keel with the block and tackle and see if we can take the weight.
Where am I looking?
Just make sure that the bolts are going to clear the pivot.
Okay, hang on. A little bit more. Maybe one more. Yeah, I think we're good now.
That seems to be as far back as it wants to go.
Yeah, it can't actually go any further.
Oh, it can actually.
It needs to be lowered down more to go further.
Okay.
But we can't lower it down more because the dolly.
Okay, so we've got to take it off the dolly then, haven't we?
Yeah.
We could put it on a car trolley jack instead of that dolly.
Okay.
Lowering it down, yeah, onto the jack.
Yeah. Keep going.
That'll clear. It's all right. I'm going down. I can see. So we're now pretty much free. You see these two blocks there, and there's two blocks on the inside of the keel box and two on the keel to stop the keel going down too far. But now I think we can lower the keel the rest of the way out of the boat. All the way to the floor.
It's coming out!
All of that scum on the inside of the keel box just looks like years of anti-foul and paint and stuff. Right, I'm going to lower it gently onto its side.
Okay.
That's it. Well, that was a complete success. We've got a couple of sheared bolts, but that's no biggie. You can get those out easily now. Now it's a case of manhandling that huge, heavy, ballasted keel out from underneath the boat. Melissa says the mission is going to try and move the thing. I think the mission is to have a cup of coffee first. Yes, we Brits do drink coffee. I do prefer tea as a rule, but at the minute I tend to go through phases. At the minute I'm on a coffee phase. There is our lifting keel, which weighs an absolute ton, probably literally. Be nice to see how much it does weigh.
Yeah. I mean, it might be on the plan somewhere how much it weighs.
That's our lifting fin keel anyway. So how does this all work then? Well, there's a huge brass pin in the boat, and these are brass bushes. That goes on there like that. Let's get rid of that scale. That's just, it's not even scale, it's mud mostly. But anyway, that goes onto there. Oh, that's unscrewing now. So these bolts need to be removed and replaced. But that goes on there, and goes either side of the brass pin. And I'm pretty certain this is made of core 10 steel because there's no heavy scaling on it. But in any case, it's not degraded at all, whether it's core 10 or not. So we've now got the whole of the winter to prepare the keel box and get everything ready, and hopefully we might be able to splash next spring, because we've got the mast is off, the welding is well underway, the keel is out. We've got September, October, November, December, January, February. We've got 6 months to get the boat watertight, and then we can put the mast back up. The engine's already done. The steering system you're going to see. I can't see any reason why we can't splash this boat next spring. The interior won't be finished, but
yeah, we just need to have a look at the keel, don't we? The actual underside of the boat.
The underside of the keel, and yeah, the base plate of the keel box is looking.
We may, yeah. As I said, I don't know whether we're included, but as I said yesterday, it was worrying me slightly. But I may be panicking over nothing.
Yeah, we need to get rid of all the scale, test the metal thickness, do any repairs to the underside of the keel box as necessary. And if I need to, I will get a professional welder in to do that, if I need to. So all we're going to do for the rest of today now is continue bashing away the scale and the underside of this keel box, so that we can start prepping it and seeing if we need to do any repairs or any painting. The keel is out, the keel box we're going to clean out, and then we're just going to start work on the underneath of the keel box and the keel itself.